Okay, this is an example of how you use the minus keyword within your SQL. Now, the minus keyword is very similar to the intersect and union in how you develop your SQL, but the results of your queries are going to be significantly different. So remember that the minus keyword takes all the data gathered from the second query and minuses it out from the first query. So let's put together a scenario. Let's say I wanted to build a list of all my customers that have made reservations with less than 5 people. And I want to send them a direct mail saying, hey, if you were to make reservations of 5 or more people, I can give you a big discount. So let's go ahead and start that. Let's go ahead and create the first query that we need, which is pretty simple. We know that we need to get all of our customer names. So that query should run pretty simply. This is going to return all of the last name and first name from our customers. And customer is not plural. There we go. There's the name list of our customers. And we've got our first query already set. Now let's talk about that second query. Now remember, the second query minuses from the first. So while we might be tempted to write a query that says, hey, give me everyone who has created a reservation less than 5 people, because we want to grab the data and minus it out, we actually want to grab the data that says, give me everyone that has had a reservation with greater than 5 people. Because those are the people I want to minus from my first query. So let's start with that query. Again, we want to build in stages. We'll go ahead and set R as our alias because I know I'm going to have some joins here. Let's see this work. Hopefully it will. There we go. That's the query we want to take out of that first query. But remember, we need to make our queries return at least the same columns of data. So our first query has this last name and first name. We need to make sure our second query can do the same. So to do that, we're going to need to make a join. We're going to need to join it on the customer table. So we need to go ahead and link those up. We know that the reservation table has a customer number, and so does the customer table. So now that's joined up, we should get a lot more columns. Oh, and that's because while we added our join, we didn't add our and there to make sure that we also and the num persons. There we go. Now again, we need to grab just the last name and the first name of the customers. So we can go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and run that, make sure it's got exactly what we want. And there you go. Now, as you saw, we had some minor errors as we were developing this. And if you had tried to develop this kind of all from scratch, all at once, you would have got an error, and it would take you a lot longer to figure out where that error was coming from because you put everything together at once. That was why I like to build things in stages. So now that we have the query of all the people that have had reservations with greater than 5 people, let's go ahead and put the keyword in here, minus. So again, this first query is going to happen, this second query is going to happen, and then remove the records from the first query that match up. And as you can see, we don't have a Quinn in here, and I forget what the other name was. The other names were, wrong query. So you should remove Quinn, CM, and Ryan. Cyan, CM, I'm not sure. And as you can see, they're not in our list. So that's great. Let's make sure I have more than enough rows coming through. And I do. And again, we do not see any of those 3 names. So that is how you use the minus keyword.